Obviously, my guest needs no introduction. We know her, we love her. It's Shelby J. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. I was just actually taking a step back and doing some prayer for this world. It's just it's an interesting time and I feel so much. Um, I'm
Yeah,
just I'm just feeling a lot, and still trying to press on with my head up. And but Mama says, when you don't know exactly what to do or what's going on and things feel like they're out of your control because it's so far away and things are happening so far away from our doorstep, you have to pray. It's the most powerful thing. And so that's what I was doing, and I feel
yes,
better.
yes. I agree with that. I mean, the world's a crazy place, and Prince told us, right? He said it's only going to get worse, unfortunately. So,
Yeah, he did
um,
say that. And the thing is, the world is a crazy place, but also the world's a beautiful place. And so sometimes when the crazy ramps up, you can lose sight of the beauty, and it's still there.
yes,
So it's still there, even with the craziness, there's still beauty. There's still people doing good. There's still people wanting good. There's still people that need help. So I'm
yes.
just trying to focus on the good. I'm trying to focus on the good.
Oh yeah, always focus on the positive, and that's what I've been that's what I've been practicing for a little over 3 years now. Is just thinking positive, and when the negative comes, try and shift it in a way that accentuates the positive. So always
Yes.
always work from a higher vibration. And I think you know I've been a Prince fan since I was 3 years old. So um, that message has definitely grown with me throughout my life, and that's part of what this podcast series, God is in the Groove, is about. Is you know telling my story through the prism of Prince's example and Prince's music, and that's why I'm so excited to have you on today. Um, my questions, my questions are. Oh, there they are. They just came up. So okay, I'm going to start with the questions if that's
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, of course.
Have you had time to sit with them at all?
I yes, but
Okay. Yeah, I hear you. Okay. Well, let's see how this goes. You've described your time with Prince as a spiritual experience as much as a musical one. Can you share a moment on stage, in the studio, or even in conversation where you felt that spiritual energy most powerfully?
Wow, I would think for me on stage, definitely when our eyes would
Yeah.
meet and connect. Let alone if we would be like this holding hands. There was just a synergy between us.
Yes.
And on stage, it was just something. Even if off stage that day, we could have had a disagreement, or I felt one way about something and he felt another way. Once we got on stage, so much of that went away.
Yeah.
But I definitely felt his spiritual energy on stage and then off stage in our conversations and our conversations about religion and our conversations about the Bible and about religions of the world and just different things. He was always wanting to teach. And I was a little
Hmm.
sponge wanting to absorb and learn um, all that I could from someone who knew so much, beyond
Right.
music. And so,
Right.
yeah, a lot of that going on off stage too.
I don't know if you heard it to the grapevine or not, but on the ninth anniversary of his transition at Paisley Park, they showed the Welcome to America concert from Greensboro,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
and it's one of the best Prince concerts I think I've ever seen in my life. And you do a show-stopping version of Misty Blue, and my sister Paula and I and our mother Linda, we were all blown away at
Oh,
your talent and your passion for the music.
thank
And
you.
and as you were alluding to earlier, we could definitely see the synergy between you and Prince, and it's so great to see and so great to feel that energy. And it was a spiritual experience seeing that show. So I
Thank
just
you.
want to say that it was a tremendous experience, and I hope if the estate is listening, I hope they release that show officially. I know it was a treat to see it at the soundstage in Paisley Park, but I think more people need to see it if possible. So if anyone's out there listening, you should put it out. So
I'll see what
there
I
we
can
go.
do.
There we go. There we go.
Also, for me, that show, that's my hometown.
Yeah.
And everyone I knew in the world, people have known me my whole life, from my church, from my
Yep.
preschool years, high school years, all of my family, my cousins, they were all there. And so for me, that show in particular was so special. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was a long time coming from people who had seen me work hard and want to get on big stages, people that have been with me since I was, singing down at the wing shack down the street from the Coliseum and,
Mhm.
15, 20 years before that. And they're
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, Shelby, and it gave a lot of people inspiration. And this is from what they've, told me to just
Right.
keep going. And,
Right.
that's definitely spiritual too, because life can be life, and as the kids say, and get hard. And anytime you can see someone, even I still have my struggles like everyone else, but
Yeah.
anytime you can see someone achieve something that was their dream, and
Yeah.
them like their
Yeah.
mama, and
Yeah.
you go to church with them, it makes
Yeah.
it real.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a minute, I know Shelby. Like, if she can do this, I can do this, whatever that this is. And
Right.
so
Right.
it definitely gives people that. And sometimes, I watch those shows to remind myself, of that magic that existed in that moment in time,
Right.
that can never be done again. It can never be done again, so
Right.
really special.
And growing up as a Prince fan, obviously I didn't know him personally, unfortunately, but I felt like I had a kinship with him from the very beginning because we're both from Minnesota, so we both kind of have that same introspective, Midwestern personality. But his example of just self confidence and you know male bravado, and I don't mean in a non healthy way, but I mean in a healthy, self confident type of way, was a great example for me. And I'm like, wow, this is something to aspire to, something to really take in as an example of somebody who's really comfortable in their own skin. And
Yeah,
growing up for me with the disability, it's always been difficult for me to rectify, the way my mind is versus the way my body works. So,
yeah,
um, Prince was always that ultimate example of self confidence. And if you have the self confidence and the talent and the work ethic, and you put it all together, you can achieve anything. So,
absolutely,
um,
absolutely.
Prince was always an example of that. By extension, you're an example of that for me and for I'm sure for many others. So yeah, seeing you at that show in your hometown, is sort of coming full circle as you alluded to. It's
Yes.
very very special, and yeah. Um, but let me get to the next question. Let me see. Um, this episode of God is in the Groove explores the tension between public and private faith.
Hmm.
How do you think Prince navigated that boundary in your eyes? And did his approach influence how you view your own spiritual path?
Well, I think he was honest with his faith. He was really open about where he was spiritually. because he wasn't always a Jehovah's Witness. When I met him, he was, but before then, he wasn't. I think he was raised, I want to say Pentecostal. I could be wrong, but I
Yep,
remember
Seventh Day Adventist.
Seventh Day Adventist. Okay, I remember him talking about Larry Graham, teaching him the Bible and them reading
Yep,
the Bible and how excited he got to learn about that. And you can see as he's exploring and learning more, it started to influence his music too. You get songs
yeah,
like Get on the Boat, you get songs
yeah,
like, yeah, and he went there. So I think he was honest with his fans about where he was. Like his music reflected where he was at that time. So
right,
the 19-year-old Prince's spirituality and where he was in his mind and with his walk, that music reflects that, but it also always leaves things open for I'm evolving. And you could
right,
always kind of tell that, like he's evolving. He wasn't like, this is where I'm at. He gave himself space, and I think that gave his audience space to evolve and to remain inquisitive about.
yes,
Yeah, and that's always a good thing. Even if I was raised Southern Baptist, I still
right.
went to Kingdom Hall with him because I wanted to know about
Oh,
this religion
wow,
that I knew nothing about. But I'm like, this is my boy, and if we together like this, so many
right,
hours a day on and off stage, I want
right,
to understand more about what he believes. That doesn't mean I
right,
have to believe it, but I want to respect it enough to try to understand it. And so yeah, I was open to that.
right. And that speaks directly to the aim of the episode that we're doing this interview for is it's entitled Spiritual Journeys, and I'm going to talk about how even though Prince's spiritual journey and my spiritual journey diverged, I was always uh, in awe of Prince's spiritual honesty and his dedication to his own spiritual path. Even though I didn't agree with it, it still made me spiritually curious and still, like you say, gave me the space to explore my own spirituality and my own faith. So
Yeah.
that's
And
great.
he put that right in his lyrics. I mean, there's only one God, whatever name he took, only matters when it comes to war. What are we fighting for? It's
Yep.
going on right now in the world,
Yep.
going
Yeah.
on right now.
Right now. Yeah. 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 Prince was always 10 steps ahead, it seemed like, when stuff like
20,
that. 20 steps ahead. Yes. Yes.
20,000. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. So, one of the central themes of this series, God is in the Groove, is the idea that music could be a vehicle for healing and divine connection.
Hmm.
What have you learned from Prince about using your gifts in the service of something greater than yourself?
Wow. Ooh, that's a good one. I've learned from him and through my own journey, especially over the last 15 years, that I am truly a vessel. And I need to look at my walk. I call what I do now is my ministry. Because when I leave my house, um, it's my decision whether I want to make a positive impact on the world or a negative
Yes,
impact on the world. And that
yes,
doesn't apply to the stage. That applies to the grocery store, that applies to the post office, that applies to everywhere you go when you leave your house. And what I've learned is that with the music that I have done, and I'm about to release some new music as well, I want to remind people of what's good in the world. And I
right,
want to be that vessel that reminds people of their strength, of the fact that they can overcome, that love is all around, and that we're much better when we're united, even if we don't agree with each other. You
yes,
don't have to. I can still love you,
yeah,
but have a difference of opinion. And so for me, just understanding that I'm a vessel and it's really not about me. it's about the people. If I'm ministering to people, it's about how they're going to feel when they leave my presence, how they're going to feel when they leave, whether it's the concert or, like I said, whether it's at the grocery store. It's like, what type of impact are you making in this world?
Yeah.
And yeah, and that's what it's about, because I don't care if you can quote every book of the Bible and you're the first one to be able to turn to the verse. When the pastor says turn to it, if you don't live your life with loving kindness, when you walk out of your door and you
Right.
treat people with loving kindness, it doesn't matter how big your church hat is or how many, that none of that matters. You've missed it.
Right.
It
Right.
starts with love and kindness. And so with Prince, I've learned to, for me, he's like, ain't nobody be Shelby but Shelby, because there was
Right.
a time in my life and in my younger youth, as they would say, I was kind of trying to figure out myself.
Sure.
And the easiest thing to be is authentically yourself. And sometimes the world can try to change that, and then you think you have to, or especially in my industry.
Right.
But the strength is to be you. And that's how songs like Who You Are came out. When I started tapping into those things, um, more of that honesty and more of that authenticity came out, not doing things because, I want to please these people or this is what's hot right now. It's like,
Right.
oh, yeah. So just to,
Right.
be a vessel and use my gift for that and understand my gift came from God, and I'm going to keep using it in many ways.
Yep.
Not just with my voice, but many ways, until I see him again, and just be that vessel. It's not always an easy walk.
Right.
But continue on that walk because it is my path.
Right. Well, before I ask you what's going on career wise in terms of the tour and new music, I just wanted to acknowledge a moment that we shared, I believe in 2019 when I went to pick up my passes for celebration that year. We ran into each other, and it's actually captured in a photo. You came up to me, gave me a kiss on the cheek, and sort of caressed my arm, and
Oh,
that was a huge moment for me. I can't uh, state it enough that because a lot of the time, I'm awkward about physical contact because I'm so self-conscious of my body and my limitations.
yeah.
So that was huge for you to touch my arm and kiss me on the cheek like that. That was a huge gesture of love and just goodness and light, and I treasure that moment, and I've put it as my Facebook profile picture currently in
Oh.
anticipation of this interview, and it's got over 160 likes, I believe, on Facebook. So um
Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, thank you for letting me come in like that.
yeah,
I just felt it. I felt it. I
yeah,
remember I remember seeing you at all the concerts.
yeah,
Prince, he knew who you were. Like he knew Chris Johnson. He knew you. Like whether or not you got to meet him and hang out with him, he knew who you were. And being able to just give you some love that I know that he would have wanted me to give. I
right,
felt that because there was definitely a connection there. And I remember concerts, like looking out and seeing you. And, I didn't know exactly who you were at the time, but then once I got to know who you were and how important you were in this, what I call the purple story,
right,
and everything, and then watching how you would move. Things you would say, online, and how just the love, that the real love that you had, for my brother, and that touches me. And so when I saw you, I just had to give you that love back. It's reciprocal. So I just had to. I was like, I didn't even think about it. I saw you and I came in.
well, hey, last name Johnson. We might not be related by blood, but we're soul family. So,
We them Johnsons. I
yep,
love it. I
yep,
love it. Yeah,
yep.
man, I love it. I love it.
So before I let you go, I'm going to ask you what's up in terms of you're going on tour, right, to Europe?
Yeah, I'm gonna be a feature on this hot summer funk tour with my sister Candy Dulfer, doing what
Ooh, I
Prince
love
said.
candy.
I do too. He was like, all of y'all should play together all the time. Y'all should play together all the time. You should be on this and you should be going on tour with this and that. And he would say that. And I'm like, but I'm with you. How can I do both? So I think that he's smiling down on all of this, with what I'm doing with Candy, what I've been doing with Phil, everybody within our Purple family that
Yep.
we're getting to do things together. And there are no rules, like he would say all the time. And so Candy reached out. Um, the first thing we did was a couple of years back. I hadn't ever really gotten to know her like that. I'd only met her one time before. And that was after Prince passed, I think we were in Rotterdam. And I was doing something with the MPG. And I was coming in, I think I was doing seven. It was right after Blackwell had passed because I opened the show with his sticks. And Candy and Chance were there and came on stage, and we have a picture of the three of us together, and that was the first time we had ever really met and talked and
Wow.
everything. But I knew who she was, and I loved and adored her, and
Yes.
I was like, she knows who I am. Oh my God. I kind of fanned out, but she is my sister, and we are going to be, I mean, I leave in 5 days, and we're going to be, Switzerland, and then Germany, and then Austria, and then Italy, and then France, and a lot of these places I haven't been since I was there with Prince. So it's going to be
Yeah.
great to see a lot of the Purple family and make new Purple family, and just continue to spread love and light, and especially now, because we need it. And that's what I'm gonna go out there and do. And then when I get back, I'm gonna focus on finishing up this music me and Phil got going. And I'm gonna have at least two songs, if not maybe three, but at least two coming out before my birthday, maybe on my birthday.
Okay, that sounds great. That sounds great. And if you get the chance to visit Minneapolis again sooner or later, let me know because I'm only an hour drive away, so I can come to Paisley or I can come to Dakota or any of those places. So if you show
Okay,
up,
well,
I'll
I
be
will
there. I'll
definitely.
show up.
Oh, well, I got you now. I got your email. And so you stuck with me, Mr. Chris. You stuck.
Sounds good. Sounds good with me. I'm very happy about that. Well, thank you so much, Shelby, for coming on and sharing your insight and sharing your lights and your love with me today. So
My pleasure, and
I
thank you for
real
all that you do. Thank
I
you.
really appreciate it. So and just knowing hearing it again, it doesn't hurt to hear it again. I kind of knew it that Prince knew me and knew who
Oh
I
yeah.
was, but hearing it again, it never gets old. So
Yeah,
thank
for
you
sure.
so much.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, darling. My pleasure. And you have a beautiful, blessed week and stay up. And I'm gonna keep you in the loop on everything that's popping. I promise.
All right, have a great tour. Have a great time in Europe, and we'll talk to you soon. All right.
All right. Bye, everybody.
God bless.
God bless you too.